to happen to the pull a lot of the time. So you're doing great, and now your body turns, and what can often happen?
Your arms disconnect from your body, so stop the rotation.
Right. I can either, if I'm good, I can keep the arm up, but I never really continue pulling. I just holding the arm up. Or more obvious infraction is that it was good, it was being pulled, and then you kind of just like drop it as you turn, yeah? Well, with sutemi waza, it's not a turn, it's a drop. As you drop, just like in tachiwaza, standing throwing technique, you have to continue the pull. It's actually the most important time because you're changing the orientation of your body. That's the most critical time for you to continue and maybe even accelerate or snap that pulling action. So for those of you doing Yoko Otoshi, for example, so I'm here. Obviously his energy is going towards my 9 o'clock. Right? Yes. Now watch as I drop. Where's he going?
Towards you.
Right, so I stop all of this. My mind and body went into the drop, and now my hands just follow that. I have to make certain that as I drop, that it's not just a drop in continuation, the finishing action happens there. So drop and finish, not just drop and hold on and kind of hope for the best. Okay? And again, we're not laying back. We're not laying back. We're sitting. And then on the finish, you kind of come to your side. Think about coming a little bit more straight down. Yoko Wakare questions? Yes?
So when you're stepping in for that Yoko Wakare, you want to be on the kind of the ball of your foot, right? Not necessarily planted for it. So you can pivot it as you're going around.
So my heel is touching, but I don't feel heavy on my heel.
Okay.
So at the same time, I don't feel like excessively forward on that foot. I would say, I don't know, maybe just slightly more to the front, you know, at least on the entry, and then as I finish, it's like the shore, you know, in and out. Yeah. Graham?
On the finish of this Yoko Wakare, are you thinking about almost doing like a semi-bridging action with your back leg to help us?
Yes. I'm really trying to get, it doesn't literally happen, but I'm almost, remember I said the word almost belly down. You follow? So it's as if I'm not going to throw you, I'm going and I want to get this way. I won't, okay? But I definitely don't want to think of it as laying back. I need to have that. As I'm dropping, and my body's like a log, the log is rolling. Okay? And you should have that feeling where again, sink your weight, like really sink it. If you do it wrong, right, this would be where he would end the throw. This is not good. This is not good. Sink. Sink. Come back. Sink your weight. Sink. You see as I aim this foot that way? You follow? Like I was telling you before, it's not that there's a magical property to the foot. It's just the more my leg and hip tend to go this way, the more this shoulder's here, the more I tend to come this way, the more my shoulder comes to that back foot. You have a question?
Yeah, so when you're pulling in Yoko Wakare, do you want it to be almost looking back in a way so your shoulder goes more up to the foot?
No, I don't turn, not to that degree. I would answer the same way with like that alligator death roll kind of thing. I do kind of imagine in my mind's eye that until he breaks, and that's a key part of it, until he breaks. But until he breaks and the kake has proven itself to be effective, I'm turning. So I guess ultimately, if he didn't go at some point, I'd be looking back there. But if you're looking at that back wall and he hasn't gone, something's gone wrong. Although, there are times where we can do the throw, where when you follow up, let's say for Osai to pin the person down or to do some kind of choke or something like that, you just kind of follow all the way through. In the same way that you would like a sumigeshi or tomoenage, like formally throw the person over, but you could keep your foot attached and roll on top of them. That's a slightly different question. That's like following through after the throw for control. It's not really the throw itself. Okay? Any other questions? Sir?
I feel like in order to sort of prop them up where they need to be, and be connected to the ground, I would keep them that while you're moving. I feel like I'm propping them, and then like you were saying, I don't know how to keep the momentum.
My foot's definitely there. So if I'm understanding correct, I definitely don't, a little more solid. I don't feel that I'm doing this and then stepping. I feel there's a little bit of a kind of a wave. So it's not, as I was talking to Mr. Ramirez, it's not no weight on the foot, all weight on the foot. It's kind of a gradual,
Pretty obvious.
yes, in that sense, yeah. But the foot is there first. Really emphasizing lifting and pulling this as this kind of arc punches across. And then on the finishing action,
Can I see the whole throws as slowly as you can do it?
sure.
I was going to do that last one. Is that first, do you really need that first step on this gear? I feel like I'm bypassing that.
For now, step in, but don't be underneath them.
Right, of course.
Okay, so I don't need that foot underneath them. Then it starts to become like crotch to leg.
Yes.
It's more here. Again, in real time,
You
the foot could vary. I will experiment with that soon, but you definitely don't want to be too far on this side of the body.
Yes.
Right? So I have fairly long legs.
Yeah.
So I could, okay. I'm answering what could be done, not what is perfectly correct formally. I can have my foot here, and I still feel very confident with the width of my hips and leg to get over here.
Right.
If I had shorter legs, I'm like closer to Ukiwaza now.
Yeah.
So the guarantee is to step a little bit closer to center. And then for sure, at this point, the knot of my belt's cut in half by his hip, right? By the side of his body. For sure, I'll get laterally with my connection. Yeah. Anybody else? Okay, let's hit just a few more of these, and then we'll do some applications.